Okay, so welcome everyone. It is September the 1st. We're in book club, Home to the Heart book club, and we're doing pages 13 to 16. So as I'm going to share the screen right away so we can see what I've got here. And let me see, I got to do a couple little things here. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to do pages 13 to 16. It's September the 1st, 2025. And the book is Home to the Heart, the Divine Mother's Guidebook, Home to the Heart, How Things Work in the Higher Realms. And at the beginning, we always drop into our hearts and just center ourselves for a few moments. But I wanted to draw your attention to the field again around the body. It's very big. It's called a toroidal field, and it's always working down through us and up through us and out through all the chakras around us, in and out of the chakras around us. So, and it's quite a large field, and the more we center ourselves, the bigger the field gets. So we're holding the energy for the collective. So this is how important it is to be in our heart consciousness, our heart space, more and more every day. And really, it's just in the kindness and consideration of the heart, but really anchored in that. And within the heart chakra, there is a tri-flame, but we're going to go into this more. And I just wanted to draw our attention to this beautiful quote from Albert Einstein when he talked to us about the dimensions. And he's talking about all of us coming together in unity and the breathing. And he's asking us to exhale in the unity of concerted knowing, wisdom, and love, the creation of the mother's pattern. And what occurs in this process of it's now 8 billion of us exhaling together is the creation of the mother's pattern. It is the creation, the restoration, the resurrection, and the brand new existence of a planet of love. And we're going to go into what he means here. He did talk to us in this very higher dimensional way back in 2013, or no, it was 2016 actually, when he explained the dimensions to us through Linda Dillon. All these messages have come through, really amazing channel in Florida. And as you can see here, what I've done with the mother energy, I've just made a small picture. The mother energy connects to the water. She's very blue. And this is like almost like a vibration energy that goes around us. The father energy of the sunlight, that's like a frequency that's all around us as well. We're breathing the light in the air and the moisture in the air in every breath. That is what creates that consciousness, that heart consciousness of the equality between the masculine and the feminine that's been missing here for thousands of years. And when the two combine, the light and the water, it is the creation of nature, but it's also that creation of oneness and us remembering we are made of love and that beautiful kindness and consideration. So, and the tri-flame incorporates the father energy, the light, and the blue energy of the mother, the water energy of the mother, and we are this pink. And I'm going to go into this pink color, why that middle flame is pink as well in this. So let's, oh, there we go. Okay, so there's a little bit more about that field. So we don't want to be breathing out any kind of judgment, basically. It's that simple and that difficult. Really centering in the heart of consideration towards the self. So out of all judgment of self and judgment of others, in that kindness towards everyone, really in a type of harmony. And when you look down on this toroidal field, this is what it looks like. So you can see the energy. It's just flowing around us constantly. And that's how important it is for us to stay in that loving space towards the self, so that it's going out from us as well. Being very still in the heart space, intending love, being love, sending, breathing for self, family, friends, situations. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're just going to drop into the heart space. We breathe green And on the out breath, on the out breath, we drop down into the heart chakra space, which is between your breasts. And just imagine yourself in some kind of a garden. There is a tri-flame in there. If you don't see it, not to worry, just really focus on being still in like a place in nature in your garden. It can be a forest, it could be by the creek, it could be by the ocean, something in nature that you absolutely love, but it's inside of you. So we're coming to remember our heart consciousness and practicing being in that space in our heart chakra, right in the middle of our being. And it's very green in there. So we'll just do this for a couple of minutes just to center ourselves. So take a nice deep breath of green. And on the out breath, drop down into your heart space, and I'll say a little prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Council of Love, Council that serves. We gather here this evening, united in heart and purpose, seeking guidance through the doorway to your sacred wholeness. We are your children and servants, companions in spirit, co-creators in form. We walk this planet Earth, Terra Gaia, this ancient garden of green. We have heard your call and we answer now in our hearts, souls, and minds. We come prepared and clear in our intent to join wholly and completely this night with all, with joy, with the divine, with love. We seek our birthright and our inheritance. We seek that which is, all that ever has been, and all that ever will be. We seek those blessings in order to better serve our companions of earth, to be of service to the one, to show our love for each other and for Gaia. In this, we join our hearts and pray. Amen, amen, and amen. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so that's just centering exercise that you can practice every day. It just brings you right into the middle of your being, into that balance of the blue of the mother energy, the trust, the peace, the forgiveness, the serenity, and the golden energy of the Father, our self-worth, that gratitude for yourself, balance, divine alignment, and into the middle of your being, into the pink energy of grace, which is the stillness and your loving action. Okay, so we're not moving along super fast through the introduction, but in a way it's good because there's just so much information in the introduction to remember. So we're in the section that's called Remembering Who We Are, and really coming to peace to the thoughts that run consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously throughout the day. We do have thousands of thoughts that we take every day. The Buddha has said that we have many, many opportunities to be compassionate, to be that non-judgment of self and others. Thousands of opportunities every day connected to the how many thoughts we have and how many breaths we take. So it's between 17,000 and 70,000 breaths and thoughts that we take every day. That's a lot of opportunities to really be that love for yourself and for everyone. So the way that I was taught was not to be afraid of what's happening within the mind, just to face right into it, is kind of like a war within, to just sit with them. So not to be constantly busy, but when we feel uncomfortable, when we feel like, whoa, this is really difficult to be in my physical body right now, to sit still, not to run off and do something else, but to recognize the need to sit still and to drop into the heart space, just like what we did, and ask our guides for help. So we do have at least 3 guides that have been with us forever. They never leave our side. And the reason we don't really know they're there is we haven't been taught or reminded about them, but they've been with you for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes. They were birthed with you when you were originally birthed from source as an angel. So they can be very angelic. They can be star beings. They can be shamanic. They can be from the fairy realms. They are beings to get to know, but the best place to get to know them is in the heart space and to ask questions. And they will show themselves. You can, they will show you what they look like as well. So just to sit still and ask. And they have names. The names are are usually quite ancient. So even if you get a nickname, you know, it's a beautiful way to connect with them. And our guides love it when we ask them for help. They often feel underemployed. So when we sit down and ask them what the thoughts are connected to, because the really unloving thoughts are connected to the past, to different traumas in this lifetime and other lifetimes. Our triggers are always connected to the past. And so the best thing to do is just ask why these thoughts are reoccurring, in which they tend to it's the same ones over and over. So you can ask to see why and what they're connected to, the images from the past, and really go into the old emotions, not be afraid of them, just sit with them. Because eventually, if you're really courageous and you just sit with the feeling, it will dissolve. And then it's less likely to occur. But we don't tend to do that. So taking the time to really feel the old feelings, the feeling is the healing. And then I was taught to go into a system of, you know, seeing what the thought is connected to, you know, what trauma, and then to really go into a type of forgiveness, not judge it in any way, find that compassion as an observer, because often we feel like the victim, you know, because we've been what's happened here has been for thousands of years, a lot of violence. Or we've been the perpetrator. We can feel guilty about something. So really go in and face into everything. And when you do, all those old feelings, they do dissolve, but it's taking the time to sit with them and allowing the energy to dissolve, because it is not real. They are human creations and they will. And what I've found is eventually you become the master of sending love into the situation and blessing everything. So it's a type of gratitude. You get to the point where you're just like, oh my gosh, okay. It's almost
So
like a very uplifting feeling. Yeah. Yeah, Stefan.
it's like bodhisattva, is it? Or bodhisattva, or it's where you're breathing in, or you're acknowledging the feeling, the emotion, and then you breathe it in, and then as you breathe out, you give the opposite of that to everybody else that's suffering in that same way, right?
Yeah,
Similar, kind of.
very similar. You can do that. But when you focus doing it in the heart space, not in the mind, like drop
Okay.
into the heart, it makes a huge difference. Because in the heart is your tri-flame, which is the perfect balance. So everyone has that blue and pink and yellow flame in the heart. And eventually you'll see that flame in balance, all the flames in balance. And then you know that you're in that state of peace for yourself, which is a state of forgiveness and trust in yourself, that you came for the adventure here to experience everything. And then you get very grateful to yourself in the gold, in your self-worth expands. And in the pink is your grace, is really your love for yourself, which is how the higher realms view us. They absolutely cherish and love us. So when you connect with your guides, you will feel that love that they have for you. And then eventually that's how you start operating in your physical form, that incredible love for yourself. And then it just gets extended out to everyone you meet. So it's joy, it's gratitude for yourself and gratitude for everyone. It's another thing, another way to look at it too, is if you're, concerned about a war zone or concerned about a politician, the best thing to do is to sit still and send blessings, send gratitude, send the golden energy into that situation, and it will come back as blessings to the self to help us be in gratitude for ourself, to come into a type of joy within ourself where you're blessing yourself. So it's a very beautiful, joyful feeling.
What you give is what you get, basically.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, and it
Okay.
multiplies, but it's a practice because we tend to walk around the world and judge everything. We just walk out, and because that's how we've been brought up. And so it's a matter of catching it. And
Well, that's the same thing, whether it's blessings that you're sending out or whether it's judgment that you're sending out. The judgment that you're sending out is really a reflection of your own self worth or your own self judgment. It's from inside, right? So if
yes,
you're sending out blessings, you're gonna get blessings back. If you're sending out judgment, then it's really just a reflection of who we think we are inside of ourselves.
yes. And
If
we
that
tend
makes
to,
sense.
yeah, and we tend to get treated by other people in that state of judgment. Now, not everything is a reflection because everyone is on their own path and there is free choice here. So it's really important to, as we're sending blessings, to know that people have that free choice to act how they would like to. So not everything is a reflection. So, and then you get very centered in yourself and very patient with people. Our Archangel Raphael says we are all wounded, but we're all healed. And we balance, so letting go, breathing out and letting go the war within, it's really just not judging it. And then in that practice, in that mastery, we discover we are joy, we are self-worth, and we are self-love. But it's a constant practice every day, really catching what we're saying to ourselves. And they tend to be little phrases too. I had one running for years and I didn't fully understand it, but it was I'm never enough. And it wasn't I am never enough, it's I'm, so apostrophe I apostrophe am, it was I'm never enough. And when I finally caught it, I was like, oh, and so you can actually change those phrases as well. So I just changed it. I said I am enough. But make it I am very consciously, because those two words are really powerful. I am love, I am worth, I am trust, I am worthy, I am enough. A lot of us have I'm not good enough running for whatever reason. And it's come down through the family line. So either mom or dad had some of these phrases as well. And then as little kids, we take those on because the brain is like a sponge. So gratitude can be what have we learned from the experience? There's always a blessing. I mean, I struggled with alcoholism and all kinds of things. Now, when I wake up in the morning, I am so grateful that I went through that because it was an experience. Now that it helps me understand what other people are going through. so that I have that compassion. I can go and volunteer with people that are struggling and just love them and listen, basically. So it's a real, for me, I'm really, really grateful I had that experience. So you turn it around, so you're like, it's even the worst experiences that we have can be a blessing, an incredible blessing. And then the other thing too is we played all the roles we have, and maybe in the next slide, okay, I'm going to come back to this, but you see how it says here, we have all played many, many roles. We've been the good, we've been the bad, we've been the really bad. Like we've been the bad actors. We've, acted out of alignment. So what you're doing when you're in gratitude for yourself and you're blessing yourself really is you're really coming to peace about all the different lifetimes we've had, because we've all played everything, whether it was on this planet or off planet on another planet. we've been everything. So what we're doing is coming to that place of mastery, of compassion for the self, and then therefore for everything, for everyone. So just to recap, we can drop into the heart and ask our guidance in the heart how the unloving thoughts are connected to the past, this life, and other lifetimes, and they will show you. But it's taking the time to do that. So if you're feeling really uncomfortable about yourself, just sit still and drop into the heart with a notebook too. I did this. Well, I've had a practice of this for several years, since about 2015. I spent quite a few years just sitting still. And I was actually learning the tarot. And so I was learning it with cards, which was very helpful. I was pulling cards every day and then sitting in the old feelings. And my guides were showing me how to ask these questions and be the forgiveness of everything and get to the point where I wasn't judging what I was seeing, the old images in the past, whether it was this lifetime or other lifetimes, and then to find the blessing, to be grateful for the experience. So you see the images, it's in the heart. I don't really know how to explain it, but you see it in your mind's eye in the heart space. So while you're in your heart of the past situations, and then you're feeling that forgiveness, coming to that compassion, that non-judgment for yourself, for others in the situation. This is the mastery. And then finding and feeling the gratitude. So it's like three things: forgiveness, compassion, non-judgment, and then finding the gratitude. And when you do that and you're breathing those blessings out, it neutralizes the energy so that it doesn't tend to repeat. So you get to a stage where you're very peaceful inside. You're not really triggered by much anymore. And you can just go throughout the world and bless everyone and be very patient with everyone. It's a really nice state to be in. And I call it being like a tree, because a tree just is rooted to the ground, and it's opening to the drawing up the water energy. It's opening to the light, and it's just standing there and it's loving everyone. And it's working. The root system is their community. So, we walk the planet and we come into that unity with everyone. But it's allowance, it's acceptance, it's being gratitude, it's sending love, rather than holding on to judgment of self or others. And it's just a practice. It takes time. And it's actually really fun to do. Jane has a saying, get curious, not furious, and it really works. So it's just asking questions of your guides. Yeah. And knowing we played everything. So if we've been the victim in this lifetime, we've probably been the perpetrator in another lifetime, and we may have done even worse than what's happened to us in this lifetime. So it gets to the point where you're like, oh, well, okay, how can I judge anybody? Because then really I'm judging myself. So then we're not judging without and we're not judging within. And our job is to fearlessly ask our guides about why we feel badly, and they will show you. That's what the beauty of it all is. And then I just want to show you why there is pink in the middle of the tri-flame, because this is the fearlessness. This is who you are. That pink is your angel self, because we're all originally born angels at the very beginning, and then we go off on adventures to different planets, and we happen to be human on Earth right now. But the pink connects to the vitality that's being sent to us from the planet all the time, because the being that is the planet is of the red ray, and red is vitality, and red is one of the colors of compassion, and it's the color of humility, which is our service and being able to bless everyone. So that's in the root chakra, that's at the base of the spine, and the next chakra up. So the root chakra is very deep red. Then that next chakra, which is called the pubic, is bright red. Then you've got the pink in the tri-flame. There's pink in the high heart. There's pink in the lurion. There's pink in the fourth eye, which is bridge of the nose. And there's pink in the red of the third eye, because that's got red and blue in it, that magenta color. And then there's pink in the lotus of the purple of the crown chakra. So there is a column of that pink red energy that's running up and down you all the time. And that's your fearlessness, that you can do this. It's really our grace, that ability to drop into the heart center and face into the self and just ask those questions. The reason why we don't like to meditate is because we're worried about what we're going to find in there, and that we're sinners through the religious systems. Well, nobody is. There's no judgment in the higher realms. Nobody is judged. Judgment is a human creation. So it's just a really good practice to center the self in meditation daily, even before you get out of bed in the morning. And then if you feel discombobulated during the day, if you can sit still and just drop into the heart and breathe. I know in the breathing, you're breathing that perfect balance of the moisture and the light, the moisture of the mother, which is all around us. The water on the planet is below ground, it's above ground, it rains, it's in the moisture in the air, the evaporated moisture, and it's in the clouds. So the mother energy, the divine mother, is all around us. And the father energy, the divine father, is in the sunlight, and that light is streaming towards us constantly. So it's in every breath we take, that perfect balance, but we've just forgotten that here. There's a war between the masculine and the feminine, and doesn't need to be. When Jesus walked the planet, he was married to the Magdalena, and they had a couple of kids, and that was taken out of the Bible, unfortunately. And the religious systems came into play, and there were the male priests, everybody had to go through the male priests to get to God. Whereas when you sit still in meditation, you find the divine mother and the divine father in equality within. And that's where we're coming to. We're remembering that. And I'll just show you, I just want to show you this. So the right side of the mind is more of the blue energy of the mother, scientific studies. So in the divine mother in the higher realms, this is blue energy. And this side of the mind operates this side of the body, the left side of the body. So this is your peace, your trust, your clarity, your forgiveness of everything, your serenity. Naturally, everyone is this energy. And the left side of the mind, so the left side is more the logic of the divine father energy. This is our joy, our self-worth, our balance, our divine alignment. The golden energy is very powerful in its gratitude for sacred purpose. It's our joy, basically. So the right side of the mind is peace and the left is joy. If we all remembered this, the whole world would work, because we would be at peace. We would remember we're all very, very peaceful inside, the divine mother energy. and we're very joyful of the father energy. And you combine the two colors, and that makes the green of the heart center. That's love. Yes, Ken or Lillian?
Yeah, would you repeat what you just said about the sides?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the right side of the brain, so if you put your hand on the right side, that is the mother side of your mind, is very peaceful. And then the left side is very joyful. This is your gratitude for yourself, your self-worth. So you got your self-love on the right side, your self-worth on the left side. And then if you cross your hands over like that and you hold your shoulders like that, you're actually in a hands-on healing of self-love and self-worth. Because the energy crosses over through the throat. And so when you do this, you're reminding yourself that you are peace, love, and joy, basically. And that's the tri-flame. The blue of the mother, the peace, the joy of the father, the gold, and the love, the pink. And then also the heart chakra, which green, love is green. Well, love is everything. It's the pink as well. And that's your grace right in the middle there. If you have any kind of pain on one side of the body or the other, the left side of the body, it tends to go to issues with mom, and the right side is issues with dad. So sometimes if you have hip issues or knee issues, or, it's interesting to kind of track it back, and you can see, because everything is a learned experience from early childhood, basically. And you can ask about that in meditation as well. So you can read it up here. The right side of our mind is like the flow of water of the Divine Mother's blue, of clarity, of non-judgment, peace, forgiveness, trust, faith, acceptance, allowance. And the left side of the mind is like the rays of sunlight of the Divine Father, gratitude, joy, sacred purpose, divine authority, will, balance, alignment. We are naturally peace and joy. So peace, the water of the mother, joy, the sunlight of the father. Blue and yellow create green. Emerald green in the higher realms is love, is charity, is compassion and healing. This is who we are. As we balance within, we automatically create balance without. Grateful and one with the gift of life, purpose, and spirit. And then we create a world of peace, love, and joy, a reflection of the perfection of ourselves. And it's really important to remember how magical it is. That's why I put the 4-leaf clovers. Because once you really start doing the work, you get to a stage where it's very lighthearted and fun and joyful. It's not a difficult thing. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be simple. Just keep asking the questions, keep dropping into the divine qualities, being into the state of forgiveness, knowing everything is forgiven. So we're not carrying any guilt or shame. We control ourselves with guilt and shame, thinking we've done something wrong. So we're breathing that out and not judging the past. Yes, Ken.
Um, so what is exhaustion? Does that have a particular
It's exhaustion is sorrow. So really deep old grief. So you want to ask why? What is this all about? You don't have to use the word why if you don't like why, but how is this exhaustion connected to the past? It usually goes into sorrow, really deep sorrow and shame about something. And if you can't find it in this life, ask what life it is connected to. Ask about a past life. But generally it will go into something in childhood. something you've witnessed that you're still judging. Whether it's with dad, with mom, with a sibling, something in family. If you get to the root of it, it's something in family. From about 0 to 9 years old.
But it wouldn't have to be this lifetime though, right?
Doesn't have to be. If you feel like you're not judging anything in this lifetime, I have found it goes into other lifetimes where we've been the perpetrator and we're having a really hard time not judging our behavior. But everybody has played every role. And the Divine Mother and Father, they don't judge anything. And we're learning to be like them. We're mastering that on planet. Mastering being like the Divine Mother and the Divine Father in physical form. That is our ascension. That's why we are here. And when we all master that, there will be no war on the planet. And all our systems will start working better because we'll be working in circles and really blessing everyone. That's what humility is, being grateful for the blessings bestowed upon each and all. So everyone has talents. We're all here to work together. No one's here to be the boss. We're all here to work together. There are leaders, but the leaders tend to be the best listeners. And then there's consensus and democracy, and everybody's talent gets utilized to the best of its ability. That's how things work on board the ships, in the higher realms. That's why there's no war. There's no war around in this universe right now. There's no war above. Even if you hear about it in other messages, Archangel Michael said, there is absolutely no war in this universe. So we're coming to remember what it's like. Remember that love of the higher realms in our physical form. And it hasn't been done for thousands of years. This has been a very violent, we've really learned what doesn't work. And now it's time to come to peace, but it's an inside job. We can't come to peace without becoming peaceful inside. Yeah. And so it's a surrender into your divinity, into your love, working with the divine qualities, working with compassion, that non-judgment, love for yourself, non-judgment of yourself, forgiveness. We're being grateful for all our feminine role models and our masculine role models and all our lifetimes in everything, because we've been feminine and masculine and everything in between. So we're it's a big job, but once it starts happening inside yourself, it's the ball gets rolling, and it gets it gets quite easy because our heart consciousness awakens. So rather than feeling like a victim operating from our wounded child, we have the ability to be compassion. So not judge anything that we've done or has been done to us, and send love with gratitude. And it just expands and amplifies. So we become like the purity and the innocence of the children that we came in as. Because if you watch a child operating, they love everyone. They don't hold any kind of energy of not loving. Like they come in on that white light, which is purity, which is just knowing they are pure love and they are here to love everyone. And that's what we're remembering, that white light, so that we can stand in the chaos here and just be that purity, the white light of purity, what we came in on as babies. We ground into the physical form on that white light right through the crown chakra. As babies, we are the pearlescent white light of purity before we ground into the body, carrying no judgment of anything, just unconditional love, non-judgment I actually looked up what MENT meant, and it's related to the mind. It means thinking, intellect. So really loving the mind, because it's the mind that creates the chaos. We are here to remember that purity, that love for everyone, and love flows to everyone through us. So it's flowing into us, and it's coming up from the planet, and it's going out through all our chakras in a circular motion around us. So this is called the toroidal field, this how the energy flows. Back in 2012, my principal guide, so her name is Catriona. So if I had sat still and tried to ask her what her name was, I don't know that I would have heard that very well. So that's the thing with the names of our guides. One of my guides is Sanfino, another one is Zenzanoni, and then I have a shaman called White Ghost as well. So, you know, listening to hear the names of your guides, sometimes it can be a bit tricky, but they'll let you know something that we can say. So just listen and they'll let you know. But she told me there is no such thing as mistakes. The only mistakes humans make is in judgment. When they judge themselves or others to be less than, when they do not see the glory of their own divinity. And that is just sad. And that's stuck with me ever since she said that. And I didn't really understand it when she first told me that, but it's after 10, 12 years. Yeah, I'm starting to get it. So it's a practice. It's just a practice to be that non-judgment. After a while, it becomes fun to turn inwards, sitting still, dropping into the heart, asking our guides for help, breathing, really bring yourself back to the breath. So if you find yourself holding your breath, it usually means we're quite traumatized. So just breathing in and being conscious of the breath being even, more and more and more even breathing, feeling the old feelings without fear. Feeling and healing and breathing until the old dissolves into truth. And really, the truth is that we're nothing but love. We're made of love. We were birthed of love. We are love. So can I forgive this, not judge it? Am I compassion, holding and loving who I am, my inner child? Can I be grateful for the experiences, all my experiences? Can I send love? And when we do that, it just neutralizes the old system. And then you can just reach out and love everybody. So you can walk into any situation and not be affected. Often people come to me in readings and they say, I'm an empath, I feel everything. And I'm like, okay, just go back and really work on yourself, because the more you fortify yourself in your own peace, love, and joy, your own forgiveness, compassion, non-judgment, and gratitude for yourself, you can go into any situation and not pick up on other people's issues. So that's what I've found doing this work. I can go, I spent years going into the downtown outside and sitting with people really struggling with issues, addictions, volunteering in that realm of people in recovery, doing readings, thousands of readings, not picking up on people's energy. So it's just a practice, but doing this neutralizes the energy so it doesn't repeat. Doing this, we are deeply loving ourselves, and especially your inner child. So it is like a trinity of your own mom, your dad, whether stepmom, stepdad, biological. You really want to be loving the mother figures and the father figures equally, and yourself, the child. And you can think of your child as the belly button and mom and dad as your hips. If that's so, you can see it's like a triangle. And loving them equally, all 3 points equally, the Trinity. That is the tri-flame. So the past doesn't repeat. So many of our experiences are a repeat of what we have experienced in childhood because we haven't neutralized the energy, the resentments, the judgments of self and others. Our inner child is wounded. We are wounded and healed when we do the balancing work, the joy work, the gratitude, the love, the non-judgment. And that's what Archangel Raphael tells us. So I often say, be like a tree. Just think of yourself as a tree, drawing up the peace from within and opening to the light and sending out the blessings to everyone. But it's just a practice. We're letting go the war within. And when you get deep, it's really a war between the masculine and the feminine, what we've witnessed as children. And you find that you're just pure joy, very grateful for everything. Okay, so I think that's what yeah. So is there anything anybody wants to add to that? Because I know there's always lots of different methods to doing that work.
Well, I've got a couple things I'd like to add to that, I guess. One is it sounds a lot like the Buddhist principle of samsara. Like if you know, we as we reincarnate, we come back, and if we haven't learned the lessons in one life, we'll come back to relearn them in our next life. And so until we're able to sit with those things and to learn the lessons, whatever they may be, you're in this pattern of having to go back to relearn. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. It sounds a lot like that. And then just with regards to the inner child stuff, I've done a lot of work, this year on inner child healing, and so I can relate to a lot of what you're saying there. In fact, I created a binder where I've got photos of myself as a young child, and next to it, on the next adjoining page, I've got reminders of the promises that I'm making to myself as a young child. So every morning I'll flip through that, and I'll just sort of be with myself as a young child and remind myself that to really love, to love myself, right, as to love that young child.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing that, you're neutralizing the energy in this life. So what you've witnessed doesn't repeat over and over as different situations in this life. Because if you look back, it's just repeats. Because
I'm just trying to get through this life, Kathleen. I'm not worried about the next one at the moment. Well, I'm trying to get through today.
Okay, but the beautiful thing about what I understand from the teachings that have come through that I've been studying, this is the lifetime we're here to create peace on the planet. And if you think about how fast technology has evolved in the last 50 years, look what's come through. The same thing is happening to the physical form. And we're here to really master this in this lifetime. We're here to create peace on the planet. We're here to be peace in the physical form. It's never been done before. And so that's why there's so many beings watching this planet to see how we do that. And it's happening very rapidly, even though it looks very chaotic out in the political system and the different systems. We're here to do that in this lifetime so that we don't have to come back anymore. And to physical body is regenerating so that we can live longer like we used to. We used to live hundreds of years because we weren't in the construction of these old belief systems that we're constantly in now.
We used to live, okay, got me confused by that. We as human beings used to live hundreds of years?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. And our star family is ringing around the planet watching us. We just can't see the spaceships because they're invisible.
This is before our recorded history that we're aware of now. Or
back in Atlantean times, the spaceships were coming and going. So you've heard of Atlantis?
The Lost City?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So back then we were much more evolved and our star family was coming and going. And
sorry, it's all very new to me. I'm trying to,
yeah. So it's a very big picture right now, But you're
Yeah.
right, the most important thing is to come to peace within the self and embrace our neighbors and our families but basically be at peace within ourselves and not to worry about the big picture.
Yeah.
But there is a divine plan for the entire planet to come to peace in this lifetime. Yep. And Darren, do you have something to add to that?
Oh, of course. Anyway, to start off with, yeah, we have lived hundreds of years in the past, and we will live hundreds of years in the future as well. Once we get through this essential cycle, we'll be living hundreds of years without any problem whatsoever, because we will be able to heal ourselves and we will have the technology to heal ourselves. So we'll be in perfect health for hundreds of years. Also in the past, just to throw in another nugget here, people were much taller than they are today. People in the past were about 12 feet tall, and they have found skeletons now that prove that. They have found skeletons that, that big in quite a few places now. So that's just coming to light now. So that we will be going, I don't know if we're going to get to be 12 feet tall at some point in the future. I'm not sure of that, but that's a possibility. Most likely we'll be about the same height we are now, but we will have much greater capability than we do right now, because we'll use our full 12 strands of DNA and our full mind power as well.
But yeah, so so I've heard that our 12th strand of DNA, we're really the 13th has come online. We just don't really believe it. So part of the problem is we're not fully believing that this can happen, but that's coming. And we have a lot of help from our star family, from the Divine Mother, with the energy that is being upgraded on the planet. Like the vibration is smoothing out, the frequency is increasing. So we have a lot of help. And basically we're here just to surrender and start living more and more and more from the heart. It's meant to be simple. It's not meant to be difficult. But
Yeah.
it just is what it is.
And I think very shortly we'll be getting a lot more help too, because like you say, there's all kinds of starships all around the planet right now, and they're just waiting for the right time to come in and help us. We're not quite ready for that yet, but we'll be pretty soon.
Yeah, if you look at how fast technology has evolved in 50 years, and so it's just a matter of, it's not, it's just, we're evolving as fast as technology is. Yeah. It's a very interesting time to be alive. So you can see that this energy, I've left this circle, rather than it being pink, it's black. So just being super conscious of what we're sending out all the time. That is the most important thing that we're doing. Really being loving to the self, so that we're not sending out, if we're having judgments inside of ourselves, it's going out into the collective. So it's being super cognizant of how we feel, what thoughts we're sending, so that the field becomes very colorful in the divine qualities. The divine qualities are colors and that's what the chakra system is. It's all different colors. It's a rainbow of healing. So when you're in that rainbow of colors, and that's what this book is about. It explains the colors, basically, the vibration, the frequency of each color, and what that does for the human form. When we understand the divine qualities and the universal laws and the dimensional classrooms, it really helps with staying in the middle. And that's what this book, Home to the Heart, is all about. Okay, so as usual, I've gone a little bit over, but This is only supposed to be 1 hour, so if you have to leave for now, like for 7 o'clock, don't feel anything about it, but at the end of every session, we send love for 10 minutes out into the collective, what we've learned, how we're feeling, that peace and that love, and we just, the joy, and we just drop into that heart space and do that sending for 10 minutes at the end of every session. So if you have the time, we would love that you join us and do that. Would everyone like to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, awesome. So if you can just mute yourselves, and I'll do the breathing and the dropping and then explain it, and then I'll set my timer and we'll do that for 10 minutes, and I'll mute myself too. Okay, so breathe that beautiful emerald green of love in through your nose, and on your out breath, drop right deep into your heart space and send that beautiful love and peace and joy to your pets, to your children, to your family, to your neighbors, to right into the collective. And we'll do that for 10 minutes.